welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host, as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show, I am joined by Velvet for a game of Bound Together. Velvet is an actual play performer. You can catch her right now on Athraplay, a tabletop RPG actual play podcast showcasing adventures in Middle-earth using role-playing games such as the One Ring RPG system to explore the lesser-trod paths of Tolkien's Legendarium. You can find more information about Athraplay at athrabethnetwork.com or check the show notes for more information. You can also find more information about all the other projects that Velvet has been a part of at velvetthedragon.card.co, or again, check the show notes for more information. Bound Together is a two-player setting-agnostic game about the connection between two people as they travel to a destination through the destruction of the world on a journey that they will most likely not complete. Players take turns framing scenes, asking each other questions, and building out the tension and relationship between these two characters as they further embark on this journey and deepen their relationship until they eventually reach the end one way or another. I love this game. I thought it was so cool. I had such a wonderful time playing it. I think you're going to really enjoy the game that we played. You can find more information about the game at kramstack.itch.io or check the show notes for more information. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I'm so excited. I've been reading through the game that we're about to play today, and I am giddy with excitement. I'm sitting down with Velvet. Velvet, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for having me. I've been really excited to get on here at some point. We've worked together a couple times before, and I've loved it every time, so...
That makes me so happy to hear. That's the magic, and sometime is literally right now. We have made sometime happen, and that's the Party of One promise to you, the listeners, that we make sometime happen. Eventually. Sometimes it takes time. Before we get into the game that we are playing today, why don't you take a moment and let our lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want them to know about?
Sure. Hi, I'm Velvet. My pronouns are she, her, and its. I was formerly on the Clever Corvids podcasting network. You might know me from the Magpies Blades in the Dark podcast, but now I am on the Athraplay podcast, which is a One Ring, that's the Lord of the Ring role-playing game actual play podcast that just started coming out like last month. That's on Twitter at Athraplay_cast. I'm really excited about it. We've been banking episodes for like a full year and are finally starting releasing them. So we put a lot of work into each one.
I love long backlogs. I will scream about the power. I will scream about how important a good, strong backlog is to any podcast producer until the cows come home.
I mean, it definitely gives you a lot of wiggle room. The downside being that once people start getting excited and talking about the episodes, I need to listen through to the most recent episode real quick and be like, okay, I need to make sure I don't accidentally spoil things for everyone because we're like a year ahead.
See, that's where having a podcast where every episode is entirely self-contained comes in. Because if people say they're excited about a thing, yeah, I haven't heard the episode in 9 months since we played the game, but at least I'm like, I know, I remember that happening that time when it came up 9 months ago.
And that's why you have this business figured out, Jeff.
I do often say that I am the smartest and most correct podcaster that has ever existed in the industry. I recognize this. It is a burden. And a privilege, honestly.
And it is an honor and a privilege to be here. Although, one more thing people should look out for is next year I'm going to be launching a new actual play podcast called Drifters at Sundown. We're casting for it right now. It's sort of a queer, trans, weird, Western, anti-colonial adventure sort of thing. So look forward to that.
My eyebrows hiked up a little bit higher at every single word of that, and now my face is physically in pain. I need that noted. I need that stated explicitly on mic.
Well, I'll send you the game afterwards and give you a sneak peek, maybe.
I'm so that fucking. I've said this many times that truly one of the absolute best parts of my job of getting to chat with people and do this show is that every single time I sit down and someone says to me very casually, yeah, I'm working on the coolest fucking thing you've ever heard in your life. And like, that's a pretty great space to exist in, let me tell you.
I mean, you've definitely been present for a lot of announcements. You're kind of at a nexus a lot of the podcasting world here.
I get to hear a lot of things and they never stop. I pray that it never stops being the coolest and most exciting part of my day when I hear somebody and tell me, yeah, I'm working on the coolest thing that you've heard of. And I'm like, that's great. That's great.
Well,
and then we get to play a game together. Like now we get to play a cool, fun game together.
Mhm.
And like,
and it's not going to be tragic at all.
No, this is happy, good time vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So today we are playing Bound Together, which is a 2-player version of the game Bound by Caden Ramstack. I'm going to read the opening text of the game because it does a better job explaining what the game is than I could possibly offer. The world has begun to fray. Life, society, and structure are all unwound as everything collapses in on itself. It spreads and conquers and poisons until there is nothing left but desolation. And in this destruction, there is only one place they must go. 2 travelers are bound for a destination, traveling alone on a long and hazard-filled road. They will be faced with perils both natural and man-made, and the chance of their arrival is all but impossible. But the road ahead will be as much a threat to them as they are to each other. Crossed boundaries, perceived slights, codependency, misunderstandings, and lies are as dangerous as the fraying of the world. But they cannot and will not leave, not each other and not the journey, for they are bound together, and they are bound to fail. What a pitch.
Like I said, not tragic at all.
No tragedy here. This is the 100% total clear speed run of Bound Together. You heard it here first. Any percent speed run, we're knocking it out. This episode of Party of One is recorded on the GDQ couch. We are here.
Listen, if you spend a bit of time positioning yourself at the opening pages of the game and backflip so as to reach the 5th page at the same time as the second one loads, you clip right to the end. And that's how we avoid the tragedy here.
You're about to see it happen in real time. It's so exciting. I'm so thrilled. Let me ask you this. Like, what is it about this game that you were excited about? What are you bringing to the table? You know, what's on your mind as you sit down to play? Like, what's got your wheels turning as we start to dig into Bound Together?
What really got my wheels turning is that it is so interpersonal focused. Because my favorite episodes and sessions of an RPG are always when we just get to sit down and explore an interaction together.
Sure.
And I'll admit, I didn't quite get this game until I had read the whole thing. So I apologize if I'm a little slow on the rules uptake here. But I'm kind of imagining that a lot of this game is going to feel like that. We're not going to know entirely what we have until we have it. And I'm excited to go on that journey.
Yeah, I think that like I always say this on mic and off. I think that like going step by step through the game and kind of talking through the rules is good for us. It's good for the listener. It's good for the experience. And I think this game in particular, as I was reading through it, I had a very similar reaction because like it's written with such an intentionality. And like I think this is a real strength of the game that it's written with such a clear intentionality towards being used as an object in play. Like the way that it's arranged, it's very much like, you know, each page is a separate set of instructions to tell you the next thing. And like as you go through it, you know, it really behooves you to like really go through it piece by piece, take it all in, and kind of understand like where the flow of the story is going to go. And I think that is very exciting. And it's funny knowing that you are on a One Ring actual play, and we found a game that is intensely Frodo and Sam coded.
I just a little behind the scenes here. I actually originally pitched the Strider mode for the One Ring role playing game, which is like a solo adventure mode. But then I looked at it more, and it really is a solo adventure mode sort of thing. A lot more journaling and stuff like that. But if we want to bring those vibes, we definitely can.
I think I've been like sitting. It's definitely on my mind. I'll say that. I don't know how explicit we're gonna pursue it, but like that's the energy that is on my mind as I read through the game is two people that are at times at each other's throats, at times hate each other a little bit, but like there is something about that shared purpose where it is the most important thing in the world that is incredibly like captivating and compelling to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, let's start building out our world and our characters. We're going to start by defining the fray. There is something that will destroy the world. Maybe we believe we can stop it. Maybe we are refugees searching for shelter, or maybe we are working to aid effort. Regardless, it is relentless, potentially anywhere, and it will not stop, and it will destroy us if it finds us. So there's 4 questions for us to answer. The first question, what is it? What comes to your mind as the fray?
Well, my immediate thought is I definitely want it to be like alive and malicious, rather than like dead and distant, right? Like I'm thinking not zombie apocalypse and not like super esoteric threat. Like I'm thinking almost like something like, I don't know, maybe a little Lovecrafty, like something like present and alive and kind of hates you.
I get that vibe. The game does recommend that it be something that can travel, change locations, is a persistent and constant threat, which all kind of matches up to what you're saying. I almost like, I think in part because it's been on my mind, because it's been high on my list to watch. I don't fully know how to reflect this, but like in that sense of something that is alive and breathing and like on our tails, my brain has floated to the Predator films. I don't fully know what that means yet, but like that, like something where the fray is something where the phrase "a guy" is very like is like there, like you can point at a guy and go, "That's the fray. That's it. The fray. It's that guy." That's very compelling to me as like an antagonistic force that we will not be able to stop.
Gotcha. Well, definitely we could go alien invasion on one path of that, but I almost just like as you said that. Thought either like Resident Evil or like maybe it's because I have Westerns on the brain recently for some reason, but like seeing a dark rider on a hill in the distance and it's just one guy in shadow and it's like, oh, that's the fray and he better not catch up to you.
That's pretty good. And the idea that this is pulling apart the world is very compelling. The idea that there is a sense that there is an unexplained presence that is like a rider on a hill, and once you see that outline on the horizon, run. Like that as a starting world detail is so fascinating because it isn't a lot of like invasions and apocalypses kind of terrify in their sort of scale and their scope. Like it is the size of the size of the spaceships in Independence Day blowing up cities that is like terrifying. Something where it's just like the terror is in its certainty, where it's just like everyone knows that there is a presence that if you see the rider on the hill, run or you're dead.
Yeah,
is very cool to me.
And then maybe it is a little more abstract then, like the rider represents the fray, but it's like the fray is ending our world. That doesn't necessarily mean the world for all time, but anything we're familiar with is going to end. That's just the inevitable march of time, right?
That's great. That's really great. And so the second question, how long has it been occurring?
I think it crept up on us, right? Because if we're representing it with a guy, it took a while for people to notice it was even happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably has been happening for a while. It's just getting really bad now.
It is an urban legend that took root and became a fact of life and became unavoidable. Like it is just a presence that grew, a shadow that grew wider or longer and longer against the sun until it was impossible not to take notice. Like people have been getting run down by this rider for so long, and whatever presence, whatever force or power it represents has just been I don't even think growing. I think just like has been a persistent drumbeat for so long that like now it's impossible to ignore it.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of
So why
that's kind of creepy. I love it.
Why has no one been able to stop it?
I mean, I think it's a natural force of the world. Like it's happened before, it'll happen again. Fighting it is like fighting the tide, you know?
Yeah, that's great. That fucks. And we know what happens if it. So actually, I guess I want to ask, like in specific, like what happens if the rider reaches you? Like we know that you're dead, but like what does that? Like what happens?
I'm trying to think of like some sort of undoing, like removing memory of you is a little cliche in my mind, but like something that you've done is undone. Right.
I maybe want to invert that.
Okay.
Because I think there's something really. You had mentioned this earlier, and like it's kind of the phrase that stuck in my head that you threw out that I think really is great and pairs with that really nicely. Like your world is undone. It's not that you. It's not. It like. It's bigger than because it's this sense that it's like. You know, it's not quite erasing all memory of you. It's almost the opposite. It's not removing everyone's ties to you. It's removing your ties to the world. Like it is if it catches you, people in your life no longer know each other. Like it undoes it doesn't just undo your world, it undoes the ties of the people around you such that like and then I think it's God, I hate that in my head I'm like, this is a great quote, and then I remember that I think it's from a Christopher Nolan Batman movie, but I think it's the Bane thing of like, I'm gonna torture you, I'm gonna break you, and then I'm gonna give you the mercy of death. It's that sense of like it is going to burn every connection you have to the world, and then you like it is it is the end of your world, but in like a very big cosmic sense. Like it is, which adds this urgency of like you gotta run not just for your own sake, but for the people that you love, for the communities you exist in. Like it is it is a massive Armageddon that descends upon you personally.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not entirely sure how that manifests, but I kind of like the idea that it's not just us. I like the idea that it's like a metaphor for death here a little bit, right? But we're not running just for our own sakes.
Yeah, there's something compelling there. I don't at all know how that manifests. And maybe we'll see it and maybe we won't. I don't know. But like, I'm glad like that feels compelling to me. And that uncertainty almost adds something to the terror of it in my eyes is like, what does that mean? And the fact that everyone in this world knows what it means, creepy.
Maybe we'll leave the exact specifics for if it catches us.
I like that. I think that's the way to play it. So now that we've made our world, we make our characters. We are separate entities who want to reach a destination. Our reasons may be different, but we are on this journey because we believe we need to reach it. We are going to each jot down a few pieces of information, a name, a being, a human, a fairy, a robot, like what we are on a fundamental level. an age, a gender, and a previous role or job.
Okay.
And then we will, once we've got those things jotted down, we will jointly decide how we came to be on the journey.
Okay, I think I got something. I'm not entirely sure how it all comes together, but
I think I've got something as well. And like, I truly do not know how these characters are gonna mesh, but I think there's gonna be magic in finding the mismatch world where we combine these characters. Would you like to introduce your character first, or should I?
I'll go first. My character is Annabelle James, 1A. She's the equivalent of middle age. She's a woman. And previous job role, I had figured something kind of high society or tycoon-ish. Someone who has brought a lot of people together through like systems, right? And is maybe slightly problematic on it on account of being a rich person. Here's the risk I took. Under being, it lists some examples in the book. Human, fairy, and robot, etc. I've decided she's a robot.
That's great. I'm so excited about that.
I'm thinking full like Southern Belle garb with a parasol and everything, but also she's a robot.
That's so good. I'm really excited for how that clashes with and also immediately meshes with mine. And like, this gives us a world that I think is captivating. I have Frankie Andretti, who is a greaser, 21 years old. Gender is baby boy. He, his pronouns, and previous role was a rum runner.
Okay.
I very greaser. I'm leaning hard on greaser as a job. Like, for some reason, as I flipped through this, the image of like a red convertible was just buried in my mind and like cruising through it.
Do you have very greased back hair that you periodically run a comb through?
Oh, switchblade comb specifically.
Excellent.
Like, it's gotta be a switchblade comb that I run it through. That is absolutely the vibe. And these characters be the combination of punk greaser aesthetics plus some degree of like of prohibition and smuggling plus robot debutante politics.
Well, we have the classic lower class rebel without a cause and distinguished high society lady here.
That's great. And then one of them's a robot.
Yeah.
That's great. There's energy.
It's some kind of energy. I'm not sure what. Maybe it's solar energy. All my fantasy children rules dictate that now that you've said that out loud, it has to be canon. And I'm keeping that tucked in the back of my mind accordingly. Okay, so all my fantasy children rules apply to Party of One as well. Interesting.
There are some crossover rules. It's an interesting experience of how to examine where those rules intersect and when.
So does that mean, because you are here and also on that podcast, the rules spread here as well, but does that mean the rules also spread into Courier's Call because Aaron's on that one?
I think to a degree, yes. But I think that is very much. I think yes, but I don't know if Drew and Allie would agree with that. I think that is a degree of. I think that might be Aaron sneaking AMFC rules like in his trench coat, for lack of a better way to put it.
That's just Cece.
That's fair. That's valid. That's, if I had to describe Cece in a nutshell, that's it. So how do we come together? What pops into your head as like how we've come on this journey together?
Well, you said you're a rum runner, right?
Yeah.
I think I needed your services as a smuggler to like get somewhere because shit's coming apart, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe I came with you to the job to go and fix this problem, which in my arrogance cannot be fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's really great. That's wonderful. I think that's it. I think you've hired me as a smuggler. I think that feels right. That feels good. I feel like that also adds a degree of here what that adds that I really like is room for, like, it adds a disaffected nature, especially in the early parts of the journey. That is, I will admit, that I am a full sucker for is the, like, I'm not really here. I'm here. This is a job. I don't have real feelings about this. This is a job.
And I would never be caught dead having feelings about this journey or you. Not even once.
Not even that's listen, we all have our trashy fanfic tropes, and this is a job and I don't have real feelings about it is fully in my wheelhouse. So now we're gonna flesh out our personality. The way that we're gonna do this is we're gonna start by defining 3 objective traits, and then we're gonna tell each other what those traits are, and then we're gonna write down 2 secret traits once we know who we are as people.
Okay, so we're making these up for ourselves?
Yeah, we start out by making up 3 objective traits about ourselves, 3 like concrete facts about your character to define their personality. Once we know those facts about ourselves, we will come up with 1 subjective truth about ourselves. This is something that is not necessarily true, but relates to how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 perceptive truth about the other character that may or may not be true, but is based on your immediate read on the other character. Neither of those we tell the other person. We just kind of have them on hand to flesh out our dynamic. Okay, I've got mine, and I'm very happy with them.
Real quick, these are personality traits, not just facts about ourselves, yeah?
Yes, that is correct. These are facts, these are personality traits, these are just like things about yourself. I think they can be defined, they can be informed by your body and physicality. Bodies influence how a character is seen, how they behave, but don't feel limited by that fact.
Gotcha. Okay, I need to decide my secret ones.
I think we decide our secret ones once we have met the, once we've gotten to know the other characters, or at least the perceptive one at the very end.
Sure. Then I have mine.
All right. I think we'll go back and forth and then give our traits to get to know each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie's first trait is slick cars, slick hair, slick makeouts.
Nice. Annabelle's first trait is good at making friends and influencing people.
That's great. That's real good. Trait number 2, sometimes you got to knock a guy out.
You've got far more evocative ones than mine. I just put haughty and arrogant for my second one. Or you know what? I'm going to spice it up with a little bit. I'm going to put haughty as in HOTT and arrogant.
Love it. That's great. I'm loving the energy. My third one, I've specifically written down poet laureate of the bathroom wall.
Excellent.
Yep, that's the third trait.
I just put holds more compassion than she would ever admit.
That's good. Okay, that's real good. Now take a moment and think about your subjective truth and a perceptive truth about the other character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got it. Okay. So we've got these. Now, tell me 1 core belief that you have. This can be either fantastical or mundane. Examples are, I must reach the city, or I will have failed my dead partner. I will be reunited with my family. I am the last prophet of a dead god. My royal circuitry means I can only pilot the mech in the polar asteroid. This must include yourself. It does not have to be true, but your character must believe it.
Mm-hmm. Do we keep these to ourselves?
We share them with each other. These ones we share with each other.
I think mine is, the world would be worse off without me.
That's fucking funny. That's good. Okay, I've got mine. Mine is, I'm the best fighter in this goddamn place. If anyone could knock the rider on their ass, it's me.
Hell yeah. I can't wait for both of these beliefs to be severely tested.
You know what? I think they're just going to get proved. I think they're just going to be proven right, and we're going to have a great time.
I mean, it's all in the cards.
All right. We now arrive at the starting point of our journey. Where and what situation were we both in before we started? We don't need to have started at the same point, but we must have already met before the game starts. So where did we meet, and how are we getting to our destination?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a strong answer for the what based on the dynamic between us and also this visual in my head. Red sports car convertible.
I mean, it was in a roadhouse, right?
Yeah, that feels gotta be that we met in a roadhouse. I'm getting the vibe that like I'm getting peak kind of almost Casablanca vibe of like walking in, looking around at the seedy bar, a little bit of Star Wars Cantina action of like a fight broke out. You were looking for somebody that could throw a punch, and I threw a particularly mean looking punch.
I was like, that one, he'll do. As good as any.
That's great. Like the dynamic between us being a mutual sense of like, I do not like our dynamic not being personal to start. Juicy. And now our final set of questions. Where are we going?
Well, where would we go to stop a like Western-esque rider of death?
I think there is a rumor. Having pulled these threads, I think really pulling on the thread of where we met, like there is a rumor of another roadhouse, of another place down the road where like someone where if you like there's a rumor of a roadhouse down the road where if you arrive at the right time of the night and you know you're someone that the rider might take seriously, like you could call them out, basically. Like,
I see.
All of this is pure myth, but like there's something about that compels me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's leaning into the vibes, right? Like if you meet at a certain place, you can gamble your life somehow and get it back.
Oh, get it back is real fucking juicy though. That's real juicy. I hadn't even thought about that. That like, verbiage.
Whether it's a card game or a shootout or something like that, this is playing a game with death.
There is a roadhouse on the crossroads where you can find the rider if you know where to look and you earn your way inside.
And it's way the hell out there. None of my vast investments into public transportation would reach anywhere near. I need a fast car.
The other questions to pull on are like, who knows about it? What is there? Are people there? I think the only question that I really want to pull at is who knows about it, and then I think we can start drawing cards and seeing where the road takes us. But like, who knows about it?
I mean, I think there's definitely a traumatized older scruffy gentleman in the roadhouse where we meet who never finishes drinking beer that you've heard this rumor from.
That's great. That hits. That's juicy. Okay, yeah. And so like we are on the road in this red convertible speeding down like long desolate highways, long desolate like two lane roads, speeding out further than we or anyone we know has ever gone in pursuit of this roadhouse by the crossroads. And now it is time for us to play out some scenes. I'll talk through how that's going to work. We each have a deck of cards in front of us. We will each take turns drawing a card from our deck. We will then refer to how those cards match, the rank of our cards, and the suit of our cards to pull a prompt from some prompt tables. And we will all like to tell us how we're going to like connect each other. We'll find scenes that will either push us closer to our destination or push us closer to unraveling. In a full playthrough of the game, we would play until we drew 5 cards of each. I think we'll probably just draw scenes until we feel like there's a natural kind of cliffhanger or end point.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll draw for like an hour. I think we'll play it by ear, but like that's what's going to happen. We will. Are you ready to draw your first card?
I am.
All right, I have got my deck in front of me. I swapped out decks to find one that I felt like was a little bit more thematic. I'm very excited. I've drawn my first card.
I've pulled a Jack of Diamonds.
I have pulled the Six of Hearts.
Interesting.
So we now go to our match type. We have no matches. We have no matches. You have the highest prompt, which means you are going to read the corresponding prompt to yourself. Read the prompt for the Jack of Hearts.
Or Jack of Diamonds.
Or Jack of Diamonds. You're going to read the prompt for the Jack of Diamonds. I am not going to read it. And what is going to happen now is like you are going to read that prompt, and you are going to ask me a series of leading questions until you feel like the prompt has been resolved.
Okay.
Only the question asker has the power to end the scene. Only you may ask questions. You do not have to ask the questions explicitly to feel as though they have been answered.
Mm-hmm.
If you are you're trying to like make leading questions to push me towards the prompts in general, you may tell me the prompt afterwards. You may choose to keep it a secret, but this is a call and response experience where little role play is happening, and I'm just answering the questions for how Frankie is relating in this moment.
Okay. So I don't tell you the prompts.
Not up front. You just ask me questions and kind of feel out what you want to know about Frankie's reaction to the prompt. You can then choose whether or not to tell me the prompt after you feel satisfied.
And am I trying to instigate a scene here, or am I just asking you out of character?
I think you're just asking character questions here. The examples in the play example are like, why haven't you noticed we're running low on paper? What do you tell yourself when you see me attaching a note to a carrier pigeon? Why do you fail to notice that pigeon is going towards enemy lines? You're poking at the prompt that you've got in front of you to see like how I react in this moment.
Okay. What was your character's name one more time?
Frankie Andretti.
Does Frankie drink and drive?
Does Frankie drink and drive? I am gonna say no, but only because if I'm drinking and I gotta drive, that means I didn't have as good a night as I wanted. If I start drinking, I'm going to have fun until I fall on my face and then sleep it off.
Mm-hmm. Does Frankie keep anything around to have fun with? Say in the car.
I think he does. I think he has hooch in the car. Like I don't think he drinks it while driving, but like there are plenty of days where we have to pull off, like where our sleeping arrangement is a tent on the side of the road. So there is like a large jug with 3 X's on it, a deck of playing cards, and then, you know, the car stereo for music or radio shows or what have you.
Mm-hmm. How does Frankie feel about the fact that I am a robot and not human?
I think Frankie is more bothered with the fact that you're a bureaucrat than the fact that you're a robot.
Excellent. I think this is going to be my last question. Would Frankie try to drink booze and play cards with Annabelle, or would that thought not even cross his mind?
I think he would. I think he would if he didn't have another choice.
I see. Okay.
I think he has assumed. Actually, I think I'm going to change my answer. I'm remembering my prescriptive truth. I think I think he would try. I think he would uh present the option, and if shot down, he wouldn't present it a second time.
I see. Okay. I think my questions are answered.
Okay.
Do you think it would be more fun for the listeners to hear the prompts after the fact?
You know what? I was thinking that as I was explaining the rules, I was like, we should probably explain the prompt so that the listener can hear what you were getting at.
Okay. So my prompt was, they have kept an item hidden from you. When you find it, do they know? Why do you think it was hidden? Do they simply not trust you, or is it something they were saving as a surprise?
Ah, that's good. That's really good.
So I was kind of teasing out, like, well, is it booze in the car? Is it something else in the car? Am I dragged into having fun? Is it a problem?
Sure.
Because Annabelle, I think, definitely looks down on the human need to have hooch, but also it's funnier if she gets sucked into a card game.
It's really funny to visual the visual, like, it's because, like, I think that, like, the slightly more detailed answer is, like, I think Frankie, and we'll talk as we draw our next card. I think Frankie is, like, trying to poke at the edges of seeing if Annabelle is capable of having fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've got my next card, and it is the Jack of Clubs.
I got a 2 of spades. So it goes
All
to
right,
you,
that
I think.
is. It does go to me. I'm going to flip to the 2 of clubs. Where are we at? How known is Annabelle making this journey? Like, did you tell anyone that you were going on this run?
No, I think she definitely just flounced off one night to do this. Because clearly, if she's reaching out to Frankie, she doesn't trust anyone else to do it. And I think she's hoping she can just go back to her life uninterrupted once it's done.
How do you react? How do you react on the road when you see other travelers?
That really depends on the first impressions they give. It's less that she, like, looks down on people, but she's always searching for opportunities. And I think her neutronic brain does that naturally. So, like, the more opulent or powerful someone looks, the more friendly she looks and tries to contact them.
Okay. Yeah, sure. What do you do, or what do you think? How do you react when Frankie reacts differently to travelers on the road?
I definitely think it's buddy comedy banter. Frankie ultimately gets his way if he's insistent, but I definitely complain about it a lot.
What is the... How do I frame this? How do I want to frame this? When Frankie pulls up to a group of bikers on the side of the road, jumps out, starts glad handing, do you go with, or do you keep your distance?
I think Annabelle keeps her distance. I think she stays in the car, pops her parasol, and looks off to the side, twirling it.
How does that reaction change the longer that this interaction goes on? Like, when the sun sets, does this reaction change? When it gets dark, does this reaction change?
She definitely starts trying to listen in, like upping the sensitivity on her audio processors, and is like, what the devil could he be talking about? I think she gets curious.
How long before it takes you to realize that Frankie is holding up here for the night?
I think it takes her a long time to realize this, because Why would you dare? Without telling me. I think it takes a long time.
How does Annabelle react when that happens?
So holding up here for the night, like we're staying here, or
Yeah, like I think he has popped. I think at one point he walks back, kind of like dings on the door a couple times to sort of like give you a friendly-ish greeting, and then pops the trunk, pulls out the roadside tent, grabs the bottle of hooch, and gives a shout to the bikers like he's making camp here for the night
I think it's
with
mostly
these bikers.
disbelief. She doesn't resist it because, I mean, if you're not going to drive the car, I can't get anywhere. But I think it's mostly just disbelief. What is good about this spot as opposed to any of the other spots on the road?
Do you come join the camp out party at any point in the evening?
Absolutely, yes.
Great, good. That is my final question. The prompt here is there's a group of travelers heading the opposite direction as you, but just for tonight, your paths cross and you spend the evening together. What stories do you tell? What meal do you share? And what do you say when you part? I wanted to experience the full sense of Annabelle passively watching this unfold and see where the line was, if there was one, of Annabelle like joining this makeshift party of people that on the surface are exactly the folks you don't want to hang out with when you're alone on the road running from the devil.
I almost definitely think she says something about her roboticness that like impresses the bikers or something, and then she's in the circle.
That's really funny. The idea of like I almost it the pitch I want to throw is like, you mentioned something about your roboticness, and like one of the bikers like pumps up his head and is such a gearhead that like immediately it kicks off like a 2-hour conversation about like mechanic shit.
Yeah.
And just like the like inner work, like hydraulics, and they're all just like, oh, that's cool, that's really cool, that's the heat management on that's got to be insane.
Mm-hmm. And then Annabelle's in it. She doesn't have a choice, so might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great. I love that a lot. All right, next card. I've got the 4 of diamonds.
Well, we have a match because I got the 4 of hearts.
Okay, so the rank matches, which means we gain a destination token.
All right.
We now read aloud the corresponding prompt in the ranked matches section. And this will allow us to play a scene together. So instead of one of us reading it and keeping it secret, now we share that moment together and we play out this scene and see how it happens.
Okay.
So that is on page 42. Ranks. Here we go.
All right.
And we are
4. So
would you like to give it a read?
Sure. There is a bustling city, one that seems completely unaffected by the fray. How is it these people can continue their lives while the world around them is destroyed? What keeps them safe? And how long do they think it will last? What else about this place makes the two of them feel ill? And what is not what it seems? Well, it's a bustling city. So, like, I almost feel like they're not afraid of the fray because they're afraid of other more modern stuff.
Yeah. And like maybe the noise of the city has we said that like part of the terror of the rider was that like it was happening and it just got so unmistakable. Like it was a steadily beating drum that just got harder and harder to ignore. Maybe there's just enough stuff happening in this city where it's considerably easy. Like the idea that it's happening, but people are just not noticing it because there's so many other things to get wrapped up in.
Right. And I don't know, maybe what makes us feel ill about the place? Because it would have to be something that discusses both of us.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if it's like I don't know, like pulling off of like sci-fi episodes, like some sort of placebo drug or something that the city just has a hold on the people for. Like it keeps them distracted from the fray, but it just kind of saps their independence.
I like that a lot. And I almost, at the risk of going extremely on the nose, at the risk of,
I mean, we've been so subtle so far, Jeff.
I know we've been like the idea of like that numbing drug just like being work is very captivating to me. Like this is because like I think there's a commonality between, and this is maybe a moment where we find this commonality that is like running under the surface of both of our characters, of like we have a compassion and a joy towards people and towards like towards like there is a joy that runs under the surface of these characters. If this is a place that is just productivity and work and like peak sort of like liberal capitalism incarnate,
and that's not something either of us wants. We both want our freedom, and Annabelle's trying to use her resources and stuff to like connect people and make things better. This is just wealth for its own sake.
I think that's awesome. Like, and like I think there's a moment where maybe there's a scene of the two of us like going to, you know, we've the common sort of refrain of these interactions of the two of us kind of like cruising to or seeking out like a roadhouse or a bar or a motel or whatever, and just finding like an endless depth of work snuffing out any kind of sense of joy or community. Like it's this ongoing thing of us just like driving these streets, and like every bar is like sponsored by a company and is like a happy hour meeting spot, and like it's this suffocating energy that permeates the entire city.
Definitely. Like it looks like a normal city on the surface, but there's just nowhere to escape it at all.
Yeah. And like I think there is a moment where we pull into one of these bars, and maybe it's as much that like we pull into a bar and every single person around us like starts asking for a business card. Like what company are you with? You got your business card? And it's like, I got a knuckle sandwich. You want that?
And it takes Annabelle a minute, but like I only have so many cards. Do you even care?
And like truly, like I think a question that I have is like, how long before Annabelle realizes that like no one is looking at these business cards? Like it's truly she keeps handing people business cards and like no one is looking at them. They're just stashing them in like a pocket somewhere.
Probably pretty quick. She seems like the type who enjoys the game and the conversation, and she is not getting that at all.
There's none of it's truly just networking like it's Pokemon, like collecting you know, connections for connection's sake. And
God, this place has actually made me a little bit sad.
This place sucks.
Yeah,
this place sucks. And I do think Frankie punches someone in the mouth and runs.
Yeah, definitely a fight gets started and we got to get out of town.
That gotta be how we exit here, is just like Frankie like fully is just like, somebody says something to Frankie that is so corporate that he's just like, well, now I gotta knock you on your ass. Like I gotta punch you in the teeth. I don't have another. You've backed me into such a corner here that if I don't punch you in the teeth,
And I think
I'm gonna
Annabelle's
feel
like,
bad about it.
for once, I agree with you.
So we just get the shot of the car like speeding full speed. There are police lights and sirens, and like it's just there's a long moment of the two of us in the car. Who speaks first about that experience?
I think Annabelle does and asks, You have undertaken this journey of your own will, yes?
It's a funny way of asking if it's a funny way of asking if I want to be here, but sure.
Good. Just there are many things.
I mean, the
city I
payday's
would
going to
not
be
wish
nice. I'm not going to
replicate.
lie to you.
Say it again.
I mean, the payday's going to be nice. I'm not going to lie to you, but you know.
Yes. I'll ensure you are compensated well enough to not have to do it again.
But if you're asking if I'm one of those stuffed shirts, no. I'm living a lot more than anybody in that city seems to be living, if that's what you're getting at.
You do certainly have a zest for life.
That's again a very flattering way of describing it, but I'll take it.
If you take it as flattery, then I am pleased.
And I think like he's like the whole time he's got one hand on the wheel, the other hand he's just like flexing his bloody knuckle as he's like moving his fingers around to like keep the circulation in his fingers. You'd think for office drones they'd have softer jaws.
In my experience, there is little difference between one hardened by the corporate world and one built for it.
You got more experience there than I do. Got to admire how they take a punch, though. Normally, the guy'd be on his ass. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm losing my touch. Maybe I'm getting old.
Perhaps you need a punching bag.
Oh, that would be great. Maybe I'll, next stop at a town that doesn't suck. We're gonna stop by like a general store, a big box store or something. I'm gonna see if we can get a little punching bag for the tent. I think that's I like the way you think. Is this that bureaucrat mind? Is this that systems thing? Genius.
Yes. Let's go with that. And I think she definitely like puts her hand on her forehead, like, oh God, am I becoming like him?
And like, I think with that, we drive off and we can draw our next card.
Alrighty.
2 of clubs.
I got 7 of hearts.
All right, no match. Read a prompt and tell me what you got.
All right. Let me see. Wait. There it is. What is something Frankie does that is genuinely unappealing and not just scrappy rapscallion sort of stuff?
Genuinely unappealing. I think Frankie exclusively chews with his mouth open. Chews with his mouth open, eats while driving, chewing with his mouth open.
All right. How is Frankie feeling about Annabelle at this point?
I think he is feeling a little bit like his assessment might not have been wrong. He's feeling a little bit like there is someone worth hanging out with bubbling under the surface. She ain't so bad.
Is that person bubbling under the surface someone Frankie would hold on to if it looked like she might not be there anymore?
That's such a good question. I think no. because I think Frankie would say no even if the answer was yes in spite of himself.
Okay.
I think Frankie fights very hard for no one to hold that place in his life.
Okay. Then I think my question is answered.
Great.
For the viewers, my prompt was, you threatened to leave them. Why do you both know you won't?
That's great.
So this definitely seems like me getting pissed off at your biological functions, which you aren't handling great. I get the car stopped, storm off into the night, and like 5 minutes later I come back because we're in the middle of nowhere. It's like, like it or not, I need this human.
And like, I think it is like once you get back, there is very clearly a sense of like Frankie is, it would almost seem like calling your bluff. Like he's sitting in the car playing music, like playing the radio, kicking up his feet, eating whatever like sandwich or roadside burrito he was eating with his mouth wide open still. Just like, and like it would seem on the surface like he is doing this to like call your bluff, but I also think there's like a clear sense that like he's maybe just doing this because it's how he gets when he's alone. Like it's hard to gauge whether or not this is an action that is informed by you storming off or if this is just his natural state.
I see. And I think there's definitely a long moment of us in the car together before Annabelle's like, well, what are you waiting for?
Oh, did you, are we stopping somewhere? Do we got to make a roadside stop? What? Did you?
No.
Do you eat? What? I should probably have asked. Like, what do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, like you're asking to stop. Do I gotta like? I realize I don't know. Like you eat?
Oh no, nothing of the sorts. In fact, I'd rather you kept your mouth shut when you are. That's all.
All right. So then, what am I not waiting for?
Nothing. I just needed a rest is all.
Gets to the best of us. And, like, just, we get a little bit down the road before he cracks a candy bar and the cycle starts over again.
Yeah.
I don't think Frankie is, like, fully reflective enough to, like, piece together the subtext of what is unfolding at this moment. All right, Next card. I have the 5 of diamonds.
I got the ace of clubs.
All right. Aces are always low unless they are against a king, at which point they are high. So that means the 5 of diamonds is the highest, so I will find that card. I'm taking a moment. I am so taking a moment. How long have we been on this trip? Like, how far into this trip are we at this moment?
Ooh. I think we've crossed the month mark.
Okay.
Which is long for a road trip.
How long has it been since you threatened to walk off?
I think it's been a couple weeks.
How long is it until you finally cut through the metaphor and straight up tell Frankie you need to quit chewing with your goddamn mouth open?
About now. I think she's at her limit about now.
Does it bother you more or less that he does almost immediately?
I think it bothers her more, but not necessarily in an irritating way. I think she had just gotten so used to people like not following her commands anymore that it takes her way aback when she actually gets what she wants.
Does it change your perception of Frankie as a person that he immediately, maybe not 100% of the time, because it's an unconscious habit and those things are hard to break, but does it change your habit that like he clearly immediately makes an effort to adjust and stop chewing with his mouth open?
Yeah, I think it definitely does. I don't think she had perceived Frankie as being at all like trying to be courteous on this journey, but maybe she's realizing like, no, he has been trying in his own ways.
That's great. I think that answers all of my questions. I had to take a moment because I could not believe that this is the prompt that we got immediately after the last scene. They have a habit or a tick that until now has not bothered you. What about the current circumstances makes you irritated by it? What do you do about it? And are they even aware that they do this?
I see.
So the fact that scene happened and we immediately got this, I was like, I read through that and the question of are they even aware they do this? I was like, I love the idea that Frankie is fully like not thought about the fact that he does this, and the second that somebody points it out, he's like, "Oh, you know what? I shouldn't be doing that. That's fair. That's reasonable. That's."
That is really funny.
And so, and like I said, the fact that it came immediately after a scene specifically about Frankie having an irritating quirk, I was like, this feels like such a natural follow up that I was really truly delighted.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean we need to communicate our wants and needs?
We gotta communicate on this trip?
Uh-huh.
Now you tell me. All right, next card.
I got the 3 of spades.
I have the 4 of spades, which means only the suit matches.
Oh, fuck.
Which means that we gain an unravel token.
Oh, no.
What was your number? What was your rank?
3.
And mine is a 4, so I will read the highest ranked prompt. This is the 4 of spades. Oh, and it's the fray? Yes, good as hell.
Uh-oh.
Something about the fray you once believed has been proven to be false and more dangerous than before. What protections... Okay, hold on. Something about the fray that you once believed has proven to be false and more dangerous than before. What new protections, or what protections do you no longer need, and what new ones do you think will work?
Interesting.
Really interesting.
Well, I mean, the immediate thing is we establish about the fray is that it is behind us and working to catch up with us. But I think maybe speed doesn't matter anymore.
Sure.
Like, no matter how fast we go, it'll always be a certain amount of distance behind us and getting closer.
It is no longer something that you can outrun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't outrun it. And it is just simply when the rider gives chase, you will run until you collapse, and then it will get you.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, we got to find the HUD as fast as possible, but we have a finite amount of time to do that.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a moment we pull up to like a small little like roadside town. One of the million, 4 building little towns that we've passed through. And I think Frankie does something that he has not done at all on this trip. And I want to see the moment when Annabelle reacts. Frankie has bought a gun. A big old like hunting shotgun.
Do you believe that'll work?
I mean, I believed a fast car would work, and now I don't got that, so if it doesn't, at least I got something.
I suppose I never considered turning and fighting.
I mean, I kind of figured that's the only reason that we were out here. was to get somewhere where we could knock this son of a bitch on his ass. Do you have a different idea?
I think she thinks for a long moment. No, I don't suppose I do. I thought perhaps we could outmath him, travel farther and wider and faster than he could follow, but that does not seem to be the case.
Outmath him. Huh.
I suppose overwhelming him with bullets is outmathing him after a certain fashion.
I tell you, talked to a lot of people about this nonsense since it started popping up. You're the first one I've spoken to that thought they could outthink this thing. And like he's like staring at the gun as he is saying this to you.
I pride myself on being able to outthink most problems. It's why I occupy the position I do.
Huh. Maybe I just talked to the wrong people. Everybody I've spoken to said they were either gonna run, kick, punch, or lay back and accept that it was over.
I have my own methods of defense, but I've rarely had to use them. It's not what I was designed for, I suppose.
Popping open the trunk of the car. I think mid stashing the gun in the back of the car, hears you say that. Shoots up straight as a board. Well, now I gotta know.
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't say what. Like, you don't know that now I gotta know. What defenses are we talking about here? Like, what are we, you couldn't have, you had to know that you were going to say that and I was going to react this way. Like, what are we talking about here?
I think Annabelle seems genuinely surprised. But I think, what's her response going to be here? I think she very quickly, like, clicks the palm of her hand open and then close again. I think she has like a small sonic cannon in her forearm, like Mega Man style.
Jaw drops. This very like cool and composed posture just like flops out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
What?
Okay.
Are you frightened? You needn't worry that I would use it on you.
No, I'm not frightened. That is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I gotta go for a walk. I'm going for a walk.
As you wish.
Suddenly, very animated with his hands, like he's throwing them up like, I gotta go for a walk.
Annabelle just seems genuinely confused as he walks away.
I think like in his mumbling himself, God, that's so fucking cool. Damn it, that's cool. That's cool. And I think one thing we see before we're like we close out the scene here is like there is a brief shot of like a bathroom wall nearby, like a public bathroom nearby that has like a freshly markered bit of like text scrawled on it just gushing about how cool having a gun in your hand is. And he comes back like capping a marker. All right, we're good. Ready to go.
All right, if you're sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Don't shoot me with your sonic gun about it.
I never.
And I think like throws you almost says something, throws you a grin, and then like hops over the door into the driver's seat of the car and starts the engine.
Perfect.
Oh, this is great. I think we want to do one or two more scenes and then we'll do a wrap-up prompt.
Yeah, we only have like one of each token. I'm kind of hoping we could get at least one more of one kind of token.
Well, I think we'll play until we get one more token of a kind, and then we'll use that to kind of like mark or do a version of the post game.
Gotcha.
I think that works.
I got 6 of hearts.
I got 5 of hearts.
All right.
That is oh god, no.
Okay, this isn't going good for us, huh?
Great. Read us the prompt for the 6 of hearts.
All right. 6 hearts. Okay, so I'm reading the prompt.
Yeah. Now you're gonna read it out loud, and we're both going to play out the scene rather than like drive it through questions.
You do something that hurts them, either physically or emotionally, but you believe you are justified. Do they eventually agree, or do they still believe you are wrong?
What a good pre-closing scene for us to explore. What does that look like? I hurt you physically or emotionally.
Well, it says you. Does it mean we're doing that to each other since it's both of us this time? Or is it me doing something to hurt you? Because I was interpreting it as I did something to hurt you.
Then I think it's both of us. If we both read that prompt and thought it was about us, I think that we're both going to do something in this scene to hurt the other person, which is great.
All right. Okay.
So what do you do? What do you do to hurt Frankie?
I'll ask you, do you want physical or emotional harm?
God, I mean, I'm not going to Jeff Stormer this and say both, but like, I think for Frankie, emotional harm is more compelling. Like, I think Frankie, especially as somebody starting to show an inner life, I think emotional harm is more compelling to me, especially as somebody that like has emotional systems in place to deal with physical harm. Like physical harm does not impede or does not like throw Frankie off the way that emotional harm would.
Okay. I think I feel justified in dealing you emotional harm because I'm either like hurting you to get you to safety or like this is part of some scheme and I need to pretend to hurt you to get away with it.
That's great.
And I can't let you in on it.
Both of those are great. Either one of them fits with the idea that like we have arrived at a roadhouse. It's not the roadhouse, but like we're at a roadhouse and Frankie is truly wrapped up in the evening. I think like maybe even intentionally causing like stirring some pots and causing some trouble, like poking at a local gang leader or something. Like Frankie is like getting into it, capital I, like getting into it in a very big, very unmistakable way.
And maybe like either the authorities or like someone come to take me back.
Oh, that's juicy.
Feels justified in capturing or stopping you, so I need to pretend I don't know you, who that ruffian is, whatever, to make sure you don't get shot or taken or captured or something, so at least someone can continue the journey here.
That's really great. That's good as hell.
Maybe it's my robot dad.
Yep. The bar shuts down as like another old rich guy robot. I'm picturing a big twirled Kaiser mustache, but like molded out of metal.
Yeah, we're definitely like chrome retro futurist type robots.
Yeah. Bursts in with some robot bodyguards. The bar shuts down.
Father. And I think she has a conversation with her father, like, I don't think she's let on why she left. She just disappeared for some reason. And I think, like, there's, like, sci-fi blaster just pointing at everyone in the bar, and she's Like, no, I've never seen that man in my life. I was not kidnapped. I left on my own.
Oh, then I absolutely. Oh, I'm gonna emotionally hurt in exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Because Frankie, like, there's a moment where Frankie like hears that, looks, I think, registers that it's a scheme, right? Like registers that it's a that you're playing, but also like is still like even recognizing that this is a scheme and that you're making a play here, like is still hurt that you would do that's the play you would choose to make.
Because I think
And
Annabelle like did the calculations really fast in a robot brain and displayed like no hesitation for it.
Yeah. And I think like is so specifically like angry that like that's the play you would make, that does the most hurtful thing that he can and throws that play immediately in the dumpster. That like immediately like the only way that I can say it is like denies the premise, right? Like the like immediately reveals it, like comes in like, Annabelle, what the hell are you talking about? We've been driving together for a month. Hi, Mr. Annabelle's robot dad. I'm Frankie. I've been hired by your daughter. We're going on a road trip.
What are you doing, you imbecile?
It's a pleasure. And like throws you like the quickest look of like, don't fucking act like you don't know me. And then like immediately like very loudly marks an association.
I love that. And do we want to leave it on a cliffhanger? Because it sounds like this is kind of a cliffhanger.
I think that feels like a good, let me read the unraveled end prompt a little bit just to kind of get a vibe. Because like, I think this is a very good, where are we at? Where do we actually get what happens on prompts? Unravel ending. Draw one last set of cards. I think I want to end this on a cliffhanger. I think what this is, I think the cliffhanger that I want to throw out is like, has done this. We have this moment of sort of mutual betrayal, and then like just ratcheting up the hurt on all sides. Maybe your dad just like signals to the two guards like, all right, eliminate the bar. And like they like guns come out, Frankie like eyes go wide. He's like, I mean, I know I said I gotta knock a guy out, but
And I think Annabelle's definitely left like shouting no. And since it's a metaphor for death, maybe we see the rider outside the window.
That's great. Oh fuck, that's good. That's real good. Okay, yep, that hits. And that, with that lingering visual, that is game.
All right.
Damn. Yeah. Good. This hit real nicely. I'm very happy with this.
I'll admit it's not what I expected when I came into this game, but I really love what we made.
That was fun. That was magical. Yeah, that was not what I was expecting, but like, I'm so happy with how it all took shape and every little moment. Let me ask you, what was your favorite moment from play?
What was my favorite moment? I really liked when we had like the turning point in the creepy city. I think I ended up liking the mutual moments of this game more than the dictating to each other moments. Like that was that was a fun game to play. I think it's a cool hidden mechanic sort of thing, but it really hit when things matched up.
It hit when things matched up, and it also hit for me like when we kind of revealed the mechanic and then started bouncing around off of like what it meant and like how to build off of it. Like getting to see the way that our relationship towards each other changed really was really when we kind of was really when things clicked into place for me. Like that was really the magic. Let me ask you one final question before we wrap up. What were your subjective and perceptive truths?
Oh, My subjective truth about myself was I can solve any problem if I apply myself and my resources. And my perceptive truth of you is he doesn't hold any higher aspirations.
That's so unbelievably good on both fronts. My subjective truth about myself was I'm living until I'm not. I better have fun.
Okay.
And my perceptive truth about you was that you're not as cold as you present to be.
Well, that one was just true.
That's the thing. I think that we really cold read the other character.
Yeah.
That was really good stuff.
I guess the difference with my perceptive truth of Frankie is Annabelle meant it derisively, but Frankie doesn't hold any higher aspirations positively.
That's true.
He's just enjoying himself.
Frankie's like, I'm not gonna be here for very long. Gonna have fun while I'm here, and then when I'm burned out, I'm burned out.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Did we share our core
that
beliefs?
was magic. Yeah, we did. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Mine was I will if anyone can knock the rider on his ass, it's me.
Mm-hmm. And mine was the world would be worse off without me.
Really, really great stuff. I love this. Thank you so much for playing. This was a really wonderful experience.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast tonight.
I'm so happy to hear that. Real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Yeah, you can find me on the Athraplay podcast at Athraplay_cast. Just search for Athraplay. And I think that's it currently.
I'd love to hear it. Well, thank you so much for this. This was a really wonderful experience. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Velvet for coming on to the show. That game was like magic. It really was the magic of sitting down at the table together, of locking in on a vibe and exploring a weird space and pushing story beats just a little bit further and a little bit further and finding something really wonderful and unique in the process. Be sure to head to athrabethnetwork.com to check out Athraplay the podcast, and be sure to check out all of Velvet's other work at velvetthedragon.card.co or follow it on social media at Velvet the Dragon. You can also find us on pretty much whichever social media you prefer at Party of One Pod or Jeff Stormer, depending. And if you enjoy the show and you want to support it, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Subscribe to our newsletter at buttondown.email/partyofonepodcast and join our Discord community at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. You can support us financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. You can give us a nice iTunes review, shout us out to a friend, give us some love on social media. You can buy some Party of One merch at bit.ly/partyofonemerch. Or if you're looking for more great podcast content, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world building podcast that I make with my best friend in the world, Aaron Catano Saez. We take a listener submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, which is an actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and the many people making their homes inside. Both of those you can find wherever you get your podcasts. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And unless I am mistaken, that is all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.
Never gonna die.